For Christmas last year in 2022, the children received Frisbees and other small toys. I wanted to get a hold of the missionaries from my church and see what I could do to help, so I made a speech to talk about all the things that were going on down there to raise money to help buy Christmas presents and food. Something this money went towards is getting piñatas for each of the three communities that we were helping down in Panama. They were filled with different candies and some other types like dum-dums and other things, including chips and some small toys and fruit. On top of that, we had little paper bags filled with more fruit and other toys for the kids who couldn't get from the piñatas. Here's a close-up of the fruits that we were handing out, and we put it all in boxes to go. These were the drinks that each of the kids got, and on top of all that, we got cake for each community to have. Where you and I eat 3 times a day, some of these families down in Panama only eat twice a week, where they don't get much, only when Mr. Joe and Miss Kim come down to give them some food. When you hear someone says, make food, you don't expect them to make the ingredients as well. This lovely lady here is making her own flour from grain. Down in Panama, some of these communities don't have any running water or electricity. We were just able to put a well in down in Panama, and we were able to run some water lines to the pastor's house. Since there's no running water down in Panama, they have to wash their dishes in tubs like this, where one of them's for rinsing the dishes off and the other one is filled with soap to clean them. With all the money we raised, we were able to give out 350 gift bags, 8 piñatas, and 10 large bags of candy to go inside the piñata. We also bought 60 pounds of rice and 40 pounds of vegetables for each of them to eat, and 4 large cakes for each of the communities. Each of the kids received a range of gifts from stuffed animals to little toys. For the families down in Panama, it's way different from here. There's no running water, there's no electricity. They use some generators to get small things they need. There's stray animals all over the place, and each of them don't even fully have their own pairs of shoes. When it rains heavy like this, they normally take shelter in their buildings, although they like to play in the rain as well for the kids. The only downside is not all of them have shoes. Their buildings tend to look like these. There's not many walls, there's a lot of holes in the side of them, so they still do get wet. They also take cover in their churches, which look a lot like these. As you can see, there's still not much siding, but it helps and it gives them some shelter. Their classrooms tend to look like this, just a tarp on the ground, maybe some benches, can be anywhere, but the good thing is they're getting a lot of learning. Homelessness exists in every country in the world. According to Encyclopedia Britannica's article on homelessness, in 2005, the United Nations estimated that approximately 100 million people worldwide did not have a permanent place to live. It also reports for 2019 found that more than 567,000 people were homeless on a single night in January of that year. More than 2/3 of the homeless in 2019 were individuals living alone. The rest were families and children. 7 out of 10 homeless individuals were men. Some groups in the United States experience homelessness at a much higher rate than others. Veterans specifically suffer high rates of being homeless, consulting 8% of all the homeless adults in 2019. A way that the world is trying to cut back on the homeless population is by opening homeless shelters in different places they can go to get warm or get a hot meal. The United Nations itself has defined access to housing as a human right. Therefore, it considers homelessness to be a human rights violation caused by unjust inequalities in income and wealth. The UN has called on governments throughout the world to do more to combat the problem. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, 26 million people are homeless, and in America alone, 582,462 individuals are homeless. 9 million people every year die from hunger. So before we become ungrateful for the things we have, we should think about the people who don't have anything at all.